Welcome to Beautiful Heart channel.
Today topic is the Indian Constitution. The next is the most important, the preamble. The preamble of any constitution is also known as its soul or spirit. So is the case with the Indian Constitution. Its preamble sets out the tone and the tenor of the entire constitution. It declares India to be a sovereign, secular, democratic republic assuring liberty of thought, expression and beliefs to all its citizens, equality and justice to all the citizens. These words constitute the cornerstone of the Constitution. The main body of the Constitution is an evocation of the beliefs and ideas enshrined in the preamble. The exact text on the preamble, which you should know, is given below. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure all its citizens, justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of individuals and the unity and the integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, exact and give to ourselves this Constitution. Next is basic features of the Constitution. The Constitution of India is a lengthy, voluminous document that deals with various aspects of statecraft. It is divided into several chapters and volumes that cover the nature of the polity, relations between the center and the constituent units, power and functions of various constitutional bodies, and so on. It is not possible to cover all the details in the limited scope of this unit. However, we can certainly deliberate over the basic feature of the Constitution. These features are a written constitution, parliamentary democracy, independence of the judiciary, cooperative federalism, fundamental rights and duties, and directive principles of the state policy. First is a written constitution. Our is a written constitution. In fact, the majority of the constitution in the world are written. The unwritten constitution of the United Kingdom is a notable exception, as the very nomenclature indicates. The constitution of our country is in the form of written document. Our constitution, though written, is not rigid the way written constitutions generally are. This is reflected in the number of times it has amended since independence. Next is parliamentary democracy. India is a parliamentary democracy based on the Westminster model of the United Kingdom. In such a framework, the head of the government is the Prime Minister, who has a council of ministers to coordinate with him and to assist him in the day-to-day tasks of the administration. The head of the state is the President, as in the case of India. All administration is carried on in his name, but he is a nominal executive. The legislature, the executive and the judiciary are the three major organs of the government that interact with each other on the basis of the principle of fusions of power. Independence of the judiciary. Judicial independence is another hallmark of our constitution. The provisions of the constitution have ensured that the judges are able to discharge their official duties without fear of favor. Basically, there are constitutional guarantees governing their service conditions to the effect that they don't feel and any pressure in their official functioning. Next is cooperative federalism. In the scheme of things, a federal state is one in which the powers, especially legislative, are divided between the central government and the governments of the constituent units. The US is a prime example of a classic federal state where the central in Washington DC has only few overriding powers with the constituent governments enjoying full autonomy. Otherwise, in contrast, is a unitary state like a UK where the central government in London enjoys superseding powers over the composing units. India is a mixed case. That is, it is neither a pure federal state nor an out and out unitary state. The Constitution of India actually declares it to be a union state. In the Indian scheme of things, there is a list of subjects on which the central and state governments alone can legislate. However, in case of any dispute, the law enacted by the central government prevails. Generally, the two sets of governments have acted in a spirit of cooperation, showcasing the inherent cooperative schemes laid down in the Constitution. Hence, the expression cooperative federalism. Fundamental rights and duties. Fundamental rights, a very important component of our Constitution. You may note that the newness and insistence of the founding fathers of our Constitution to include fundamental rights for all citizens were really shaped by their experiences of fighting the British colonialists. The framers of the Constitution had experienced firsthand the crushing of liberties during different phases of subjugation by the British. They were determined that citizens of free India were not subjected to such experiences ever again. Hence, their strong emphasis on fundamental rights. The Constitution guarantees certain rights to its citizens considered fundamental for their well-being. These rights are enforceable by the courts of law. They are the bedrock of an Indian citizen's life. Liberty and property. The various fundamentals right are right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to religion, cultural and educational rights, and right to constitutional rights.